the almighty warrior of the female president. Please like, share and subscribe. Episode 21. Boyfriend? Hearing this voice, Su Xiaoming's eyes lit up obviously. This bastard is finally here. However, thinking about the current situation, she had a headache again. How should she get out of this situation? Xiao Meng, I was delayed by something, so I'm late. Get in the car. Xiao Chen poked his head out and looked at Su Xiaoming apologetically. Xiao Meng, who is this guy? Su Xiaoming didn't say anything. The door of the BMW 5 opened, and a young man with short silver hair got out of the car and looked at Xiao Chen with his eyes slanted. Hearing the young man's words, Su Xiaoming's eyes turned, and a sinister arc appeared at the corner of her mouth. Him? He's my boyfriend. Boyfriend? When these three words came out, not only the silver-haired young man was dumbfounded, but even Xiao Chen in the car was dumbfounded. What the hell is going on? Honey, you're finally here. I've been waiting for you for a long time. Xiaoming's pretty face was full of coquettishness, which was particularly attractive, and the silver-haired young man's eyes were wide open. Xiao Chen looked at Su Xiaoming, and then at the silver-haired young man whose face was getting uglier and uglier. He understood what was going on. He was being used as a shield. Xiaoming, is he really your boyfriend? The silver-haired young man pointed at Xiao Chen and asked in a cold tone. Of course. Su Xiaoming nodded, looked at Xiao Chen, and blinked at him. Honey, let me introduce you. This is my classmate Inhe. Before Su Xiaoming finished introducing, Xiao Chen got out of the car, smiled and stretched out his right hand. Hello, I'm Xiaoming's boyfriend, Xiao Chen. Hearing Xiao Chen's words, Su Xiaoming's mouth curled up. This kid reacted quite quickly and knew how to cooperate. However, you will cry later, hee. As expected, as Su Xiaoming thought, the silver-haired young man's face darkened. He ignored Xiao Chen's outstretched right hand and said coldly, then do you know who I am? Aren't you Xiaoming's classmate? Xiao Chen was not angry, but slowly withdrew his hand, with a smile on his face. I'm her boyfriend too. As soon as the silver-haired young man finished speaking, the doors of the other luxury cars opened, and several young men got out, with fierceness and arrogance written all over their slightly immature faces. Inhe, stop talking nonsense, who is your boyfriend? My boyfriend will be angry if you say that. Let me tell you, my boyfriend has a bad temper. Su Xiaoming was standing by, determined to fan the flames, watching the fun without fear of big trouble. Okay, Su Xiaoming, do you think I, Inhe, am a fool? Do you think you can get rid of me by just finding a random guy? Inhe sneered, pointing at Xiao Chen. Boy, I warn you, go back to where you came from, don't make yourself uncomfortable. From what you said, my boyfriend is a fake, and he is a shield that Xiaoming found? Xiao Chen asked with a smile. Isn't it? Inhe replied coldly. Just when Su Xiaoming was thinking about how to add fuel to the fire, Xiao Chen grabbed her hand, pulled her into his arms, and said playfully, if we are not boyfriend and girlfriend, would I dare to hug you like this? Su Xiaoming was dumbfounded. Damn it, this kid took advantage of the opportunity. Boy, let Su Xiaoming go. Before Su Xiaoming could get mad, Inhe got mad. Episode 22. Can I kiss? On the passenger seat, Su Xiaoming glared at Xiao Chen. How dare you take advantage of me? How did I take advantage of you? Xiao Chen asked in surprise. You hugged me and touched my butt. Ah, that's it? How can this be considered taking advantage? It's not like I haven't touched it before. Xiao Chen said nonchalantly. What did you say? Su Xiaoming was furious and punched Xiao Chen. You bastard, I'm going to fight you. Stop it, I'm driving. Xiao Chen dodged Su Xiaoming's fist. Thinking of the girl's soft and elastic little butt, he couldn't help grinning. Besides, I was just cooperating with you. Su Xiaoming pouted. Bah, don't use high-sounding reasons to cover up your shameless behavior. Well, if I don't do this, the guy behind me won't believe that we are boyfriend and girlfriend at all. Then why don't you kiss? That will make us more like boyfriend and girlfriend. Su Xiaoming said unhappily. When Xiao Chen heard this, he regretted it so much that he almost slapped his thigh. Oh, if I knew you were so open, I would have kissed you just now. Get out of here. Su Xiaoming was completely furious. She even wanted to grab the steering wheel and die with this beast. Xiao Chen felt the cold murderous aura emanating from Su Xiaoming, and he shuddered. He didn't dare to tease this girl anymore, lest the car crash and people die. After a brief silence, Xiao Chen looked at the BMW 5 leading the way in front and asked, Xiao Meng, what's going on between you and this Inhe? Does he like you? Maybe, but I don't have any feelings for him. How can I be his girlfriend? By the way, how good are your driving skills? Are you sure you can beat Inhe? His cousin is one of the underground car gods in Longhai City. He often plays cars with his cousin, so he can be considered half a disciple. Xiao Chen was speechless and turned to look at Su Xiaoming. You know he is half a disciple of the car god, but you still race with him? Is your brain squeezed by the door? Your brain is squeezed by the door. Su Xiaoming rolled her eyes. My driving skills are not bad, okay? I am also ranked first in the #1 middle school in the city. Pinshu.com https://www.vodtw.la. Okay. Stop talking nonsense. How good are your driving skills? Can you beat him? Don't worry, don't talk about him. Even if his cousin who is a car god comes, I will beat him anyway. Xiao Chen said arrogantly. Su Xiaoming curled her lips. You will die if you don't brag. Haha. Xiao Chen smiled and said nothing more. Half a disciple of the underground car god? Haha. About half an hour later, several cars arrived at Zhulongpan, one of the 3 holy places for underground racing in Longhai City. Because it was still early, there were not many people here. Boy, how many rounds should we run? Inhe got off the car and pointed at Zhulongpan and asked. This is my first time here. What do you say? The Zhulongpan is dangerous, one round after another. People who often play cars usually run Zhulongpan, it depends on whether you dare. Xiao Chen glanced at the not-so-high mountain in the distance and nodded, then run Zhulongpan. Okay, run to the top of the mountain and flash the lights, then come down. Whoever comes down first wins. Okay. Then let's start. Inhe said, sneering, boy, don't cry later. Xiaoming, get in the car. Xiao Chen was too lazy to say anything more. If it wasn't for helping Su Xiaoming solve the trouble, he wouldn't have bothered to come. In his opinion, this is just playing with children. Su Xiaoming nodded and got on the Maserati. At this point, she still hoped that Xiao Chen could win. Inhe looked at Su Xiaoming's back and narrowed his eyes. If you lose again this time, let's see what reason you have to deal with me. A few minutes later, the 2 cars were lined up at the starting line, each preparing. Can you really beat him? Hee, how about we make a bet? If I beat him, I'll help you solve your problem, and you promise me one thing? What? Su Xiaoming looked at Xiao Chen with a vigilant look. This kid must be up to no good. Well, nothing much, just call me Brother Chen from now on, how about that? Okay, as long as you win, I'll call you Brother Chen from now on. Su Xiaoming thought about it and nodded in agreement. Anyway, calling you Brother Chen won't hurt a piece of meat. Xiao Chen smiled, turned his head to look at the BMW 5 next to him, and made a ready gesture. Start. A young man raised his hand and suddenly dropped it. The 2 cars rushed out of the starting line almost at the same time. The BMW 5 made a huge roar. Inhe was very aggressive. He quickly changed gears and then turned the steering wheel to take the lead. Hurry up. Su Xiaoming looked at the BMW 5 that was half the length of the car, a little anxious, and shouted. Why are you in such a hurry? Let this kid be proud for a while. Xiao Chen looked relaxed. As the saying goes, laymen watch the excitement, while experts watch the doorway. From the start of the car, he almost saw Inhe's level a professional among amateurs. While Xiao Chen was talking, the BMW 5 took the lead and left the Maserati president behind by a body. Humph, drive the president to race with me. I'll kill you. Inhe glanced at the Maserati president in the rearview mirror, sneered a few times, slowed down a little, and passed the first bend. Pinshu.com https://www.vodtw.la. Buzz. Just as Inhe passed the bend, the Maserati president suddenly accelerated, drifted beautifully, and passed the first bend almost without any pause. The next second, the Maserati's speed surged again, and it began to overtake from the outside, and soon caught up with half of the BMW 5. Damn it. Inhe cursed and stepped on the accelerator hard. Has this bastard never run the Kowloon plate before? Buzz. The BMW 5 just accelerated, and the second bend arrived. He had no choice but to slow down a little, but what made him grit his teeth was that the Maserati president still did not slow down, and even faster speed, passed the second bend and left him behind. On the Maserati president, Su Xiaoming's face turned pale. She had run the Kowloon plate many times before, but never once passed the bend at such a fast speed. When passing the first bend, she didn't feel anything, but when passing the second bend, she felt that this guy was crazy. Then, at the third bend, Xiao Chen's speed increased a bit, almost leaving the BMW 5 behind by 3 bodies. Slow down. Su Xiaoming looked at the rock wall in front of her and couldn't help but yelled, while holding the handrail tightly. There was a ravine next to her. If she fell down, the car would definitely be destroyed and she would die. Hold on tight. Xiao Chen didn't slow down. Although he thought the game was a bit childish, the roar of the engine still made his blood boil a little. Damn it. Damn it. Bastard. On the 5, he looked at the Maserati president who disappeared at the intersection of the 4th turn, and couldn't help cursing. This guy definitely didn't run the Kowloon turn for the first time. Episode 23. Shocked. After he finished cursing indignantly, he looked at the dangerous 4th intersection ahead and stepped on the brakes unwillingly. Although he also wanted to learn from Xiao Chen, not slowing down, and then drifting through the intersection in a very handsome way, he still didn't have the courage. This is not a computer racing game where you can play again after death. Although he likes racing and looking for excitement, he doesn't like to die. He only has one life, so he'd better be careful. In such a distracted moment, his car almost hit the 4th plate, which scared him so much that cold sweat broke out on his forehead. When he just passed the bend and looked forward, he immediately lost his composure. Damn, the Maserati was gone. At the foot of the mountain, several young men who were originally lazily leaning on the luxury car now straightened their bodies, staring with wide eyes at the black shadow that was speeding like the wind on the 9 Dragon plate. This black shadow was like a black lightning, and its speed was extremely fast. Fuck, this guy is a master. Damn it, if he wasn't a master, he wouldn't have proposed to race with Lao Yin. He's been fooled, a grandson of a pig pretending to be a pig and eating a tiger. Why do I feel that his speed is faster than that of Lao Yin's cousin? Did anyone keep track of the time just now? See if you can break the record. Damn it, Brother Yin is doomed to lose. I wonder how big the psychological shadow area of Brother Yin is. A brief moment of stunned silence, the young people began to discuss, some were shocked, some were angry, and some were gloating. In the Maserati, Su Xiaoming's face turned pale, but compared to the previous fear, she was already somewhat accustomed to it, and even her eyes flickered with excitement. Is this the thrill of extreme speed? The violent push on her back made her feel like she was flying, especially when she was turning a corner. The kind of frightening feeling made her feel even more excited. Listening to the screams from the co-pilot from time to time, Xiao Chen glanced at Su Xiaoming with his peripheral vision. He couldn't help but feel depressed when he saw it. Damn, did this little girl treat this as a roller coaster? As for riding that little excitement on her face? Originally, he wanted to scare Su Xiaoming and tell her not to race with others in the future. After all, this thing is quite dangerous. But now it seems that he has done something wrong? Damn it, come on again. Xiao Chen muttered in his heart, and stepped on the accelerator hard. The needle shook and rushed straight to the maximum speed. Ah. Su Xiaoming looked at the rock wall getting closer and closer in front of her and let out a shrill scream. Her body also tensed up at the same time, and she stuck to the seat tightly. She was about to hit it. Pinshu.com https://www.vodtw.la. Just when the Maserati was about to hit the rock wall, Xiao Chen quickly stepped on the brakes, the car body shook violently a few times, and then passed through the 9th turn at a weird angle. And the distance between the rear of the car and the rock wall was less than 5 centimeters. Huh. Even Xiao Chen himself breathed a sigh of relief. After all, this was his first time running the 9 Dragons turn. Everything depended on his keen observation and judgment. A slight mistake could result in the car being destroyed and people dying. As for Su Xiaoming, she was so scared that she collapsed on the seat, gasping for breath. She had clearly felt the coming of death just now. She was just a little bit away from saying goodbye to this beautiful world and her dear sister. When Su Xiaoming reacted, the Maserati had already reached the top of Zhelongpan Mountain. Xiao Chen flashed his high beams and turned around to drive down. You were crazy just now. Su Xiaoming clenched her somewhat weak fists and stared at Xiao Chen and shouted. Haha, are you scared? Xiao Chen smiled, it would be good to scare this girl. Just as Su Xiaoming was about to speak, she saw Ainhe's BMW 5 coming head-on. Through the windshield, she could clearly see the guy's gloomy face, which made her feel much better. When the two cars passed each other, she lowered the window, stretched out her white hand, and raised a middle finger to Ainhe with a provocative look. The BMW 5 stopped with a sharp brake sound. Ainhe looked back at the Maserati going away with an extremely ugly expression. Damn bastard. He thought about it and turned the car around and went down the mountain. He had already lost anyway, so there was no point in driving up. Two cars came down the mountain one after the other, and several young men surrounded them. Ainhe, you lost. Su Xiaoming got out of the car and said proudly to Ainhe. I accept the loss. The last bet doesn't count. Although Ainhe was unwilling, he still gritted his teeth and said. Hey, the bet just now said that you will not bother me anymore in the future. Is it wrong to like someone? Didn't you not do as agreed before? Su Xiaoming opened her mouth, not knowing how to respond. After all, she did something a bit unkind before. It's okay to like someone, but I hope you don't bother her too much. She has a boyfriend. Xiao Chen got out of the car and said in a deep voice. Boy, what did you say? A young man pointed at Xiao Chen and shouted with a thumb-thick iron rod. Xiao Chen frowned slightly, stretched out his hand to grab the iron rod, and before the other young men could make any move, he exerted force with both hands and bent the iron rod. This scene made several young men stare at the scene, and they held back the curse words that were about to come out of their mouths, and they stopped their steps. My girlfriend just said that I have a bad temper. I don't want to argue with you kids, but don't go too far, otherwise. Xiao Chen used both hands to twist the iron rod together completely. This is the end. Ainhe and others were really shocked. How much strength does this kid have to twist an iron rod like this? Xiao Meng, get in the car, let's go. Xiao Chen threw away the iron rod, shouted to Su Xiaoming who was also shocked, and returned to the car. Oh. Su Xiaoming rarely did not oppose him, nodded, and got into the car. Pinshu.com https://www.vodtw.la. Looking at the Maserati going away, Ainhe and others came to their senses. They looked at the twisted iron rod on the ground at the same time, and subconsciously broke out in cold sweat. Damn, is this guy a human? A young man couldn't help but say. It's nothing, my bodyguard can do it. Ainhe frowned. He felt a little embarrassed just now. How could he be shocked by Xiao Chen? However, he was a little glad in his heart that he didn't do it, otherwise, these few people would really be enough to be abused. Old Ainhe, what are you going to do? Give up Su Xiaoming? A tall and thin young man asked next to him. Give up? Humph, Ainhe, will get what I want. Ainhe narrowed his eyes, Su Xiaoming, I'm determined. Old Ainhe, don't force it. Su Xiaoming is not that easy to mess with. The name of Su Ernyang is not fake. Su Ernyang? No matter how hard she is just a woman. As long as she is a woman, she is to be ridden by men. Ainhe sneered a few times, oldly, ask your brother to check the origin of this kid. He dares to snatch a woman from me. I will make him pay the price. Okay. Old Ainhe, don't you just want to ride Su Xiaoming? I have a way, do you want to hear it? What? Give her some drugs, and this girl will beg you to ride her. Fuck, do you think Su Ernyang is fake? If you drug her, there will be trouble. Another young man shook his head and said. No matter how bad she is just a campus scumbag, relying on her beauty and a group of followers. If I really sleep with her, what can she do? Can her followers really fight for her? Yeah, that's true. Listening to his friends, he sneered in his heart. If Su Xiaoming was really that simple, I would have taken action long ago. Why would I have to look at her face? The Su family behind her is not so easy to mess with. Episode 24. I'll help you pick up my sister. A ring rang and Xiao Chen answered the phone. Hello, Su Qing, are you done with your work? Hearing that it was her sister calling, Su Xiaoming pricked up her ears, wanting to hear what was being said on the other end. Not yet, are you and Xiaoming home? Su Qing's voice sounded a little tired. No, we're. When Xiao Chen said this, he saw Su Xiaoming waving her hands, and he changed his words and said, we're having dinner, and we'll go home after dinner. Hearing what Xiao Chen said, Su Xiaoming was obviously relieved. If her sister knew that they were out racing, she would definitely be unhappy. Well, then you guys should be careful. I just received another email. Xiao Chen frowned and asked in a deep voice, what did it say? It's still a threatening letter, saying that within a week, I will be in trouble. 1 week? Then we'll just wait. Xiao Chen sneered. He was not afraid of the other party making a move now, but he was afraid that the other party would not make a move. Unknown enemies hiding in the dark are often the most terrifying, so Xiao Chen couldn't wait for them to make a move earlier. At that time, both sides will be a mule or a horse, and it will depend on who has better means. Well, let's talk about it when we meet. I'll continue to be busy. Okay. Xiao Chen nodded, hung up the phone, squinted his eyes. Is she finally going to show up? What did my sister say to you? Su Xiaoming saw that Xiao Chen hung up the phone without saying anything, and couldn't help asking. Oh, nothing, just asking what we are doing. Really? Su Xiaoming looked at Xiao Chen with suspicion. Pinshu.com https://www.vodtw.la. Of course it's true. Why would I lie to you? Xiao Chen smiled. I lied to your sister and said we were eating out. Tell me, what do you want to eat tonight? I'll treat you. I want to eat seafood. Okay, then let's go eat seafood. Xiao Chen nodded. After dinner, let's go to the company to pick up your sister from work. Remember, don't let anything slip, don't say we're going racing. Su Xiaoming pouted. Do you think I'm stupid? I certainly won't tell it. Haha, okay, then let's just keep it as our little secret. I won't tell your sister about your puppy love. Who's in puppy love? Su Xiaoming glared and almost jumped up. I'm not in puppy love at all. He likes you, this is also a kind of puppy love. Liking me is puppy love? Yes. Cut it out, according to what you said, I was in puppy love in kindergarten. Su Xiaoming said unhappily. Hey, Xiaoming, can you please stop bragging about yourself? It's true. I'm naturally beautiful. There have been a lot of boys who like me since kindergarten. Okay, you're loved by everyone and flowers bloom when you see them, okay? Xiao Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This girl was too narcissistic. Su Xiaoming, who got rid of He's entanglement, was in a good mood. Her attitude towards Xiao Chen was no longer so bad, especially since she still had some little thoughts. If she was still a little bad, there would be no hope. The two chatted intermittently, and they talked about the car just now. Xiao Chen, can you teach me how to play with a car? Su Xiaoming saw that it was almost time, and finally said her little thoughts. No. To Su Xiaoming's surprise, Xiao Chen refused without hesitation. Why? Why would a little girl play with cars? It's too dangerous. Who said girls can't play with cars? Su Xiaoming was not happy to hear this. You are being sexist. Okay, don't raise the issue to such a high level. I am not sexist. Xiao Chen said hurriedly. Then why don't you teach me? Brother Chen, I will call you Brother Chen from now on, is that not okay? I will never chase you away again. Xiao Chen shook his head. You should call me Brother Chen. I won the car race and helped you solve He's troubles. As for you chasing me away, haha, I don't want to leave. Can you chase me away? Hearing this, Su Xiaoming was so angry that her teeth itched. Although this was the case, there was no need to say it out loud, right? It was too bullying. But thinking of Xiao Chen's amazing driving skills, she could only grit her teeth to hold back her anger and force a smile. Brother Chen, as long as you teach me driving skills, we can get along well in the future, how about that? Not very good. Are you coming to Longhai to get my sister? As long as you teach me, I will help you to pick up my sister, how about that? Su Xiaoming said anxiously. Squeak. Xiao Chen stepped on the brake, the car body shook and almost hit the curb. What did you say? I said, as long as you teach me driving skills, I will help you to pick up my sister. Su Xiaoming saw Xiao Chen's reaction and thought he was right. She couldn't help but sneer in her heart. Bastard, you really didn't have any good ideas. A toad wants to eat swan meat. When I learn it, I'll let you go. Hey, Xiao Meng, I swear, I really didn't set my sights on your sister. I came to Longhai purely because. Xiao Chen said this and suddenly shut up. There were some things he couldn't tell Su Xiaoming. At the same time, he was secretly alert in his heart. He was almost tricked by this little girl. It seemed that he had to be careful in the future. Why? What did you and my sister hide from me? Pinswho.com https://www.vodtw.la. Sure enough, Su Xiaoming stared at Xiao Chen and asked. Well, there's no reason. I was expelled from the army and had no job. Your eldest brother asked me to come here. One is to protect you and your sister, and the other is to find a place to eat. Xiao Chen said casually. You lied to me. No, it's true. Although I have small breasts, I'm not a child. I'll ask you one last time, what's the reason? If you don't tell me, I'll ask my sister. Xiao Chen was shocked by Su Xiaoming's first sentence. He was about to make a few jokes, but found that she was unusually serious. He opened his mouth, but swallowed the jokes that were on the tip of his mouth. This level is not easy to pass. Will you tell me? Xiao Chen was silent for a few seconds, and repeated what he had said to Su Qing at the beginning. Half a month ago, your sister called your brother and said that she was in trouble and hoped that he could come back to help her. Trouble? Su Xiaoming frowned after listening. Could it be them? Xiao Chen was stunned and asked hurriedly. Who are they? What do you know? The Su family. Su Xiaoming's eyes turned cold. If my sister is in trouble, then the biggest trouble should come from the Su family. Su family? Xiao Chen repeated it, and then his heart moved. Longhai Su family? Have you heard of the Su family too? Is it really that Su family? Xiao Chen asked in surprise. There is only one Su family in Longhai. Xiao Chen's eyes widened. Are you from the Longhai Su family? We used to be, but not now. Su Xiaoming's pretty face turned cold, and her voice was icy. We are us, and the Su family is the Su family. Episode 25. Brother-sister not. Xiao Chen was moved when he heard Su Xiaoming's words. Could it be that they had already left the Su family? Something must have happened, otherwise Su Xiaoming would not have reacted like this when she mentioned the Su family. Family feud? Or something else? However, no matter what happened, since he was here, he would protect the Su sisters. If anyone dared to hurt them, he would kill the gods and the demons. Then, he thought of the threatening letter and the bug. Did these have anything to do with the Su family? Or did Su Qing know something but kept it from him? Just when he wanted to ask carefully, he heard Su Xiaoming speak coldly again. Su Yunfei is really heartless. My sister is in trouble, but he doesn't come back? Xiao Chen frowned slightly. Xiao Meng, you shouldn't say that about your brother. He wants to come back, but the army has a mission, and soldiers have to defend their country, so he has no choice. Defend their country? He can't even protect his own sister, so what's the point of defending the country? Ha, don't you think it's ridiculous? Su Xiaoming sneered. Xiao Meng, a soldier's duty is to obey orders. You should have heard this sentence, right? Although he can't come back, he is still worried about the safety of you and your sister, so he asked me to come. If he really worries about me and my sister, he should have retired and come back. Back then, he shouldn't have left Longhai to join the army when my sister and I needed him the most. Su Xiaoming's eyes turned red and she became excited. Xiao Chen was silent for a few seconds. He vaguely understood why Su Xiaoming hated her elder brother so much. However, this little girl didn't know that her elder brother was dead and would never come back. No matter how big the mistake was, the person was dead, and the mistake should be eliminated, right? He wanted to tell this matter, but he didn't dare. It was too cruel. He shook his head. Forget it, let's find a way to untie the knot in this little girl's heart first. Pinswho.com https://www.vodtw.la. In addition, when Lao Su mentioned this little girl in the past, his tone was quite guilty, saying that he was not a good brother. Maybe this is also a knot in Lao Su's heart. If he can help them and their siblings untie this knot, Lao Su in another world will also be relieved, right? Thinking of this, Xiao Chen sighed. This little girl is small and stubborn. Unless she is told the news of Lao Su's death, it will be a long way to untie her knot. Okay, Xiaomeng, let's not talk about your brother for now. Xiao Chen looked at Su Xiaomeng's stubborn and red eyes, feeling a little distressed, and changed the topic. The trouble your sister encountered this time may not come from the Su family. Someone sent your sister a threatening letter before. Threatening letter? Su Xiaomeng's face changed. Who? I don't know. Your sister just said on the phone that the other party sent her another email. Then the eavesdropping device at home was also made by the other party? Su Xiaomeng thought of something and asked. Xiao Chen secretly praised her. She was worthy of being a super academic master who had a stable score of 60 in every subject. She was smart enough to think of this immediately. Not necessarily. The other party is hiding in the dark and can't be found at all. If it was really made by the other party, it would be fine, but if not, it means that the people who are watching your sister are not just one party. Su Xiaomeng's face changed again. Who is watching her sister? The Su family? Or the enemy hiding in the dark? Xiaomeng, do you think it was made by the Su family? Xiao Chen thought about it and asked. No, if the Su family wants to cause trouble, they will definitely do it in public. They won't play dirty, and they don't bother to play dirty. Xiao Chen nodded. He wanted to ask them why they left the Su family, but when the words came to his lips, he swallowed them back. He decided to find a chance to ask Su Qing. Su Xiaomeng didn't say anything else, pursed her red lips, looked out the window, and didn't know what she was thinking. The car fell into silence. More than 10 minutes later, the Maserati stopped at the door of a seafood restaurant. Xiaomeng, don't think too much. With me here, the sky won't fall. Xiao Chen got out of the car, helped Su Xiaomeng open the door, and said with a smile. Su Xiaomeng looked at Xiao Chen's smiling face, and her heart trembled slightly. This was the first time she felt that this guy was not hateful. She was even a little touched. Haha, get out of the car. It's my treat today, don't be polite to me, just order whatever you want to eat. Xiao Chen said generously. Really? Then I want to eat more than 5 kilograms of Australian lobster and king crab. Su Xiaomeng said deliberately. Okay, as long as this restaurant has it, then we'll eat it. Two entered the seafood restaurant. In order to have a better meal, Xiao Chen specifically asked for a private room, and then shouted to the waiter, do you have Australian lobsters weighing more than 5 kilograms? I want pure wild ones, don't fool us with farmed ones. Sir, there are no 5-kilogram ones. Xiaomeng, how about a smaller one? Xiao Chen looked at Su Xiaomeng and asked. I was just kidding, just eat something casually. Su Xiaomeng shook her head, she was not in the mood to eat. Sir, we have 3-kilogram pure wild Australian lobsters, which are airlifted here. The waiter said hurriedly. Okay, then 3-kilogram ones, and we also have king crabs, right? And Xiao Chen ordered 6 or 7 kinds of seafood in one breath before letting the waiter leave. Soon, the seafood was served. Su Xiaomeng wanted to drink beer, but was stopped by Xiao Chen. He knew that the girl was in a bad mood. Pinshu.com https://www.vodtw.la Xiaomeng, I'm going to pick up your sister from the company later. If she smells the alcohol on you, she will be unhappy. Su Xiaomeng nodded and didn't ask for more wine. She ate the Australian lobster. The originally delicious lobster tasted like chewing wax at this time. She kept thinking in her mind, how can she help her sister? Xiaomeng, your sister didn't tell you because she didn't want you to worry, so don't worry about these things. If you really want to make your sister happy, don't deliberately get 60 points on the next exam. Xiao Chen said to Su Xiaomeng while gnawing on the king crab legs. Su Xiaomeng froze, looked up and glared at Xiao Chen, how did you know? Hee, your sister mentioned that last time. In my opinion, it is much more difficult to control the score to 60 points every time than to get a full score. Then my sister also knows? Su Xiaomeng asked anxiously. Yeah. Hee, your sister is not stupid. You can hide it for a while, but you can't hide it forever. She will figure it out sooner or later. Xiao Chen smiled and looked at Su Xiaoming with a bitter face, but I'm quite curious. Everyone is striving to be a super academic master. Why do you, a super academic master, deliberately become a bad student? Su Xiaoming opened her mouth and sighed, alas, it can't be explained in a few words. When you are in the arena, you can't help yourself. Xiao Chen was speechless. Damn, a little brat, and you can't help yourself when you are in the arena? Episode 26. Small breasts, not interested. After Xiao Chen's special guidance, Su Xiaoming's mood was not so bad, and the atmosphere in the private room gradually became better, with laughter coming from time to time. After dinner, Xiao Chen swiped his card to pay the bill, and the two drove to the company. Xiao Chen, can you really protect my sister and prevent her from getting hurt? When they were about to arrive at the company, Su Xiaoming suddenly turned her head and looked at Xiao Chen, asking seriously. Yes. Xiao Chen nodded, I promised your brother that I would protect you sisters. Then I won't chase you away for the time being. Su Xiaoming said this very seriously. Haha, really? Then I can let my guard down. It's really tiring to be on guard all the time. Xiao Chen smiled, but a cold light flashed in his eyes. After helping Su Qing solve the trouble, he would leave without her chasing him away. He still had something to do, that is revenge. But I have to tell you, don't have any ideas about my sister, otherwise I won't let you go. No. Don't have any ideas about me. Xiao Chen rolled his eyes, glanced at Su Xiaoming's chest, and pouted, then I have to emphasize again that I am not interested in women with small breasts, no, girls. What did you say? Su Xiaoming glared at Xiao Chen angrily. This guy was too much, always rubbing salt into her wounds. Well, it's nothing. I said you are young and cute. Well, don't let it slip when you see your sister later, do you hear me? Xiao Chen hurriedly shook his head and changed the subject. At the same time, he secretly muttered in his heart that small breasts are this girl's reverse scale, so it's better not to mention it in the future. Since you're praising me, I'm too lazy to bother with you. Su Xiaoming snorted, just don't let it slip. If my sister knows about our racing, we'll both be finished. As she spoke, the Maserati drove into the company and stopped downstairs of the office building. The two got out of the car, took the elevator upstairs, and met Su Qing in the office. Xiaoming, why are you here too? Su Qing, who had just returned from the laboratory and didn't even change her white coat, couldn't help but smile when she saw her younger sister. Pinshu.com https://www.vodtw.la. Sister. Su Xiaoming looked at the tired look on her sister's face, and her heart ached, and her eyes immediately turned red. Xiaoming, what's wrong? Su Qing saw tears in her younger sister's eyes and panicked. She quickly stepped forward and asked, what happened? Who wronged you? Or who bullied you? Su Xiaoming shook her head and held back her tears. Nothing, sister, why didn't you tell me? What? You were threatened. Ah. Su Qing was stunned, turned her head to look at Xiao Chen, frowned slightly. Did you tell Xiaoming? Xiao Chen was helpless and shrugged, I let it slip during dinner. Besides, I don't think there's any need to hide this from Xiaoming. There's no harm in knowing it. Xiaoming, it's okay, don't cry, sister will protect you and won't let anyone hurt you. Su Qing glared at Xiao Chen, then hugged her younger sister and comforted her gently. Sister, why didn't you tell me? I'm afraid you'll worry. Besides, it's not a big deal. Sister will take care of it. Sister, I want to help you. I don't want you to be in danger. Haha, silly girl, what can you do for me? Don't worry, with Xiao Chen here, I'll be fine. Su Qing comforted her younger sister, but sighed in her heart. Sister, it's not that I'm hiding too much from you, but you're still young and shouldn't bear it. No matter what kind of storm, let me bear it. Xiao Chen looked at the two sisters hugging each other, smiled enviously, and left the office quietly, leaving the space for them. After leaving the office, Xiao Chen went downstairs to the security department. Minister Xiao. Several security guards on duty tonight saw Xiao Chen coming and stood up to greet him. Yeah. Xiao Chen nodded, haha, nothing tonight, right? No. Xiao Chen took out a cigarette and walked around. Everyone has worked hard. Keep an eye on the scene tonight. Yes. As he was talking, Ding Li came in from outside. Brother Chen, are you here to pick up General Manager Su after work? Well, why are you still here? Aren't you on duty tonight? Xiao Chen was a little surprised to see Ding Li. There are not many people in our security department these days, so I stayed. Ding Li said shyly. Haha, you are an official now, you have to set an example? Xiao Chen smiled and threw a cigarette to Ding Li. Ding Li took the cigarette, grinned, lit it, and took a puff happily. Come on, accompany me to the monitoring room. Okay. The two left the security department and came to the monitoring room next to it. The images were being played in real time on the monitoring screens. Brother Chen, what are you looking at? Ding Li saw Xiao Chen enter the monitoring room, staring at the screen without saying anything, and couldn't help asking. Haha, I'm looking at the blind spots and rotation frequencies of these surveillance cameras. Oh. Can you tell that? Of course you can. Xiao Chen nodded and said thoughtfully, the company has more than a dozen blind spots that completely avoid the cameras. Combined with the rotation frequency, there are at least 5 routes that can enter the office building and even the president's office while avoiding surveillance. Brother Chen, what are you talking about? Why don't I understand? Ding Li scratched his head and asked. Ding Li, let me ask you, who set the rotation frequency of these surveillance cameras? Pinshu.com https://www.vodtw.la. It seems that it was done by manager Lu. Lu Dekue? Yeah. Xiao Chen narrowed his eyes and said nothing more. Brother Chen, what's the matter? Nothing, let's go. Xiao Chen shook his head and stood up. You should keep an eye on the company. The Flying Eagle gang hasn't made any movement all day. Maybe something will happen at night. Ding Li's face changed and he said fearfully, will the Flying Eagle gang come to retaliate at night? Who knows? It's always right to be careful. You don't have to be afraid. If there is anything unusual, call me. Or, call the police directly. If there is something wrong, find the police uncle. Xiao Chen shook his head. This kid is so brave. Oh, I see. Ding Li nodded nervously. Okay, go back to the security room to rest. I guess President Su is done with his work now. I'll go up and take a look. Xiao Chen looked at his watch and said. Okay. Xiao Chen returned to the president's office and saw the two sisters chatting. It can be seen that both of them were in a good mood with smiles on their faces. Xiao Chen, where have you been? Su Qing asked when she saw Xiao Chen coming back. I went back to the security department and visited the monitoring room. What happened? Hee, nothing, are you done? Yes, we're done, let's go back. Okay. Episode 27. The Taste of the Past. In the early morning, the sun shone through the window, and Xiao Chen opened his eyes. Thinking of the deep sisterly love between Su Qing and Su Xiaomeng when he came back last night, he couldn't help but smile warmly. After being lazy in bed for a while, he got up, washed up, and went to the living room. In the past, Su Qing would have made breakfast at this time, but today there was no movement in the kitchen. Xiao Chen looked upstairs, smiled, walked into the kitchen, opened the refrigerator, took out the ingredients from it, and started making breakfast. Just when he was almost done, footsteps were heard, and Su Qing, wearing pajamas, appeared at the kitchen door. When Su Qing saw Xiao Chen, who was wearing an apron and frying eggs, she couldn't help but be stunned. Xiao Chen, why are you? Haha, good morning. Xiao Chen greeted with a smile, scooped the 7/10 cooked eggs out of the pot and put them on a plate, since you haven't gotten up yet. I'm here to help you make breakfast. Xiao Meng and I slept in the same room last night, and we chatted until after 2 o'clock, so I didn't get up. Su Qing said, and walked into the kitchen. You take a rest, I'll do it. No, it'll be ready soon, go and call Xiao Meng to get up. Xiao Chen shook his head and cracked another egg into the pot. Qing looked at Xiao Chen's skillful movements and the gentle smile on his face. She was a little dazed for a moment. The figure of her elder brother appeared in front of her. He used to make breakfast for them and eat breakfast with them. Su Qing, what's wrong with you? Xiao Chen turned over the fried eggs and noticed that Su Qing was staring at him without blinking, and asked in confusion. Oh. No, nothing. Su Qing woke up with a start, shook her head, and said in a low tone, I miss my brother. He used to like to make fried eggs for me and Xiao Meng. Xiao Chen, he won't be in danger when he goes on this mission? When can he come back? Xiao Chen froze and forced a smile. Don't worry, your brother is a super soldier king, and he is not going alone, he will be fine. Yeah. Su Qing nodded, but why did she feel flustered when she thought of her elder brother? Okay, hurry up and wake Xiaoming up, or you'll be late. Hee, my skill in frying eggs is not worse than your brother's. Xiao Chen urged Su Qing, fearing that Su Qing would continue to ask more questions. Yeah. Su Qing nodded, looked at the fried eggs in the pan again, turned around and left. A few minutes later, Xiao Chen put breakfast on the table, and Su Qing pulled Su Xiaoming, who was rubbing her eyes, downstairs. Looking at the golden fried eggs, Su Xiaoming became more awake and her appetite increased. She almost rushed to the dining table and picked up the fried eggs. So delicious, medium rare. After taking a bite, the yellow egg liquid came out of the fried eggs, and Su Xiaoming's eyes lit up and she shouted loudly. Wow, sister, how did you do it today? Really medium rare, so delicious. Su Qing was also slightly stunned. Medium rare fried eggs? Pinshu.com https://www.vodtw.la. She turned her head to look at Xiao Chen, who smiled and nodded at her. Su Qing, try it. Yours is 9/10 rare. Su Qing picked up the fried egg, took a bite, and her body trembled suddenly. It was this taste. Next to her, Su Xiaoming looked at the fried egg with yellow liquid flowing out, and her mood became a little depressed. She hadn't eaten this kind of fried egg for several years. What's wrong with you? Xiao Chen was a little confused by the scene in front of him. Is it not delicious? No, didn't Su Xiaoming say it was delicious just now? Why did he change his expression in a blink of an eye? The taste of the fried egg is the same as that made by my eldest brother, and the heat is also well controlled. Su Qing explained. Xiao Chen heard it. Well, he wanted to avoid Lao Su, but it turned out that frying an egg made the two sisters think of him. However, looking at Su Xiaoming's reaction, he was a little relieved. It seems that this girl is also thinking about her eldest brother in her heart. She has a sharp tongue but a soft heart. You made this? How do you know I like to eat medium rare fried eggs? Su Xiaoming looked up and asked Xiao Chen. When I chatted with your brother before, he always mentioned you. For example, you like to eat medium rare fried eggs, for example, you like blue, for example. Su Xiaoming's eyes suddenly turned red when she heard this. Don't say it. Xiao Chen nodded and stopped talking, while Su Qing also gently comforted Su Xiaoming. Xiaoming, listen to me, don't blame Big Brother anymore, he left Longhai at the beginning, he also had his own difficulties. No matter what his difficulties were, he shouldn't have abandoned us. I won't forgive him. Su Xiaoming said stubbornly, threw down the chopsticks, and hurried upstairs. Xiao Chen looked at the half-eaten fried egg and said helplessly, did I do something wrong? It's none of your business. In fact, I know that Xiao Meng also misses her brother. But she just doesn't say it, and she can't get over the hurdle in her heart. Su Qing shook her head and smiled bitterly, forget it, let's not talk about this. The fried eggs are delicious. After the two of them had a simple meal, Su Qing went back to her room to change clothes, and Xiao Chen began to clean up the table. Wait. Just as Xiao Chen was about to throw away the fried egg left by Su Xiaoming, the latter appeared at the stairs. Xiao Meng, what's wrong? Such a delicious fried egg, why throw it away? Su Xiaoming came down from upstairs, grabbed the fried egg with her hands without using chopsticks, and stuffed it into her mouth. Xiao Chen smiled, if you think it tastes good, I will make it for you every day in the future. Su Xiaoming's body trembled, and she raised her head slightly. Really? Of course. Okay, pinky promise. Su Xiaoming stretched out her white fingers and said seriously. Xiao Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. This girl was really childish after coming up for a while. However, he still hooked his fingers with her as a promise. Soon. Su Qing, who had changed her clothes, came down from upstairs. Seeing that her younger sister was in better condition, she felt relieved. Let's go. The three of them left the villa, first sent Su Xiaoming to school, and then went to the company. Xiao Chen, thank you. Seeing her younger sister's back disappear at the school gate, Su Qing turned her head and said to Xiao Chen. Why? I haven't talked to Xiao Meng all night for a long time. We talked a lot last night, and she also promised me that she would get high scores in the college entrance examination. Haha, this little girl knows what she is doing. You don't have to worry about her too much. Yeah. Su Qing, you and the Su family. Xiao Chen thought of the news he heard from Su Xiaoming yesterday, hesitated, and asked. We have already left the Su family. There is nothing to say about some of the grievances in the past. Unlike what Xiaoming said, the trouble did not come from the Su family. Xiao Chen nodded after hearing what Su Qing said. He was not interested in the grievances of the rich. As long as it did not endanger the sisters of the Su family, he was too lazy to ask more. When he arrived at the company, Xiao Chen strolled around first and then returned to the office. Before he could even sit down, there was a knock on the door. Come in. The door opened, and Tong Yen came in from outside, holding a folder in her hand. Minister Xiao. Hey, Tong Yen is here. Xiao Chen saw Tong Yen, his eyes lit up. This girl is even more beautiful today. Minister Xiao, I'm so sorry about what happened last night, I didn't expect. Tong Yen was a little embarrassed, and didn't even dare to look at Xiao Chen, and said weakly. Hee, nothing, sit down quickly. Xiao Chen smiled and shook his head. I'm leaving, what did my aunt say? My mother, no, nothing. Tong Yen thought of her mother's words like hurry up and go to bed, her pretty face blushed, and she shook her head in panic. Seeing her like this, Xiao Chen was curious, what did Tong's mother say again? However, if she didn't say it, he couldn't ask more, and changed the subject. Do you come to me for something? Pinshu.com https://www.vodtw.la. Minister Xiao, this is the copy I made, you can see if it's okay, then I'll send it out. Tong Yen handed the folder in her hand to Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen took it, opened it and looked at it for a few times, and nodded, okay, no problem, send it out. Okay. Send it through as many channels as possible. Although we are only recruiting security guards, we can't guarantee that there will be any talents. Well, I will. Tong Yen stood up and bent slightly. Minister Xiao, I'll go to work first. Looking at the buttons of Tong Yan's white shirt, Xiao Chen was a little disappointed. There was nothing to see today. After Tong Yen left, Xiao Chen sat for a while, then turned on the computer game. During the boring working hours, he had to try to make himself less boring. In his opinion, this work is similar to going to school, very boring. The only difference is that you can make money at work, and going to school, you have to spend money. As the head of the security department, he usually has nothing to do, so he spent the whole morning playing games. As for what he said before about Lu Dekue not playing games during working hours, he had long forgotten it. Brother Chen, it's time to have lunch. Ding Li came in from outside at almost noon. Well, where shall we eat? Xiao Chen turned off the game and stood up. I'm a little hungry. Let's go to the company cafeteria. You haven't been there yet. Right? Xiao Chen shook his head. No. Is the food in the company cafeteria delicious? The food in our company cafeteria is very good. It's the best in Longhai. Ding Li gave a thumbs up, then lowered his voice. The most important thing is, there are benefits. What benefits? Beauties. There are many beauties in our company. They are usually in various departments and you rarely see them. But they all appear at mealtimes. Xiao Chen looked at Ding Li steadily and pointed at him with his finger. Ding Li, I find that you have become bad after becoming an official. No way. I'm just trying to please him. Ding Li scratched his head and said with a smile. Fuck, am I really such a pervert? You are so lecherous, but you are pushing it onto me. I despise people like you who are shy and coquettish. Learn from me, who is always coquettish. Let's go see the beauties. No, let's go have lunch. Xiao Chen waved his hand and walked out. Ding Li was obviously defeated. He had seen shameless people, but he had never seen such a shameless person. He had seen coquettish people, but he had never seen such a coquettish person. Episode 28. My name is Li Hanho. After dinner, Xiao Chen strolled out of the restaurant with a toothpick in his mouth. Brother Chen, how is it? I didn't lie to you, did I? The beauties in our company are of top quality. Ding Li followed behind like a follower. Just so. Xiao Chen's face was full of picky. I have high standards. After all, I am surrounded by top beauties, you know. Hearing this, Ding Li secretly despised it. He didn't know who almost drooled into the plate just now. One moment he said that this one had big breasts, thin waist and good temperament, and the next moment he said that that one had tight hips and thighs and good sex. He almost flew his eyes out. What? Do you think I'm bragging? Let me ask you, President Su, are they top-notch? Xiao Chen turned his head and asked. Top-notch. Thinking of Su Qing, Ding Li nodded vigorously. Assistant Qin, is she a top-notch girl? Top-notch. Ding Li nodded again. Although Assistant Qin was not as pretty as General Manager Su, she was much prettier than the average beauty, especially her figure and temperament. Absolutely top-notch. General Manager Su's sister, Su Xiaoming, is she a top-notch girl? Top-notch. Tong Yan from the HR department, is she a top-notch girl? Ding Li saw Tong Yan's pretty face and big breasts, and couldn't help swallowing his saliva. Top-notch. Damn. Stop being so filthy, okay? She's not someone you can think about. Xiao Chen patted Ding Li on the head and said unhappily. Yes, I understand, she's Brother Chen's favorite. Ding Li nodded hurriedly. Xiao Chen rolled his eyes. What the hell is going on? Okay, stop talking nonsense, I'll give you a task. Brother Chen, what task? Ding Li asked hurriedly with a straight face. Xiao Chen looked around, put his arm around Ding Li's shoulders, and muttered for a while. Ah. Ding Li's eyes widened after hearing this. What is this for? Do you remember what I said in the monitoring room last night? Yeah, I remember, blind spots, rotation trajectories and so on. Yes. Xiao Chen nodded, you go find an electronic city first and buy the equipment back. But, Brother Chen, I don't know how to install it. Fuck, if you don't know how to install it, can't you find an installer? Remember, do this at night, don't let anyone notice it. Oh. Ding Li nodded, but still couldn't help asking, Brother Chen, what are you going to do? Xiao Chen's mouth curled up, fishing. Fishing? Ding Li was even more confused. He looked around. There was no pond in the company. What kind of fish could he fish for? Yes, don't ask any more questions, just do as I say. Xiao Chen patted Ding Li on the shoulder. This is done, a great achievement. Pinshu.com https://www.vodtw.la. Okay, I'll do whatever Brother Chen says, anyway, Brother Chen won't hurt me. Ding Li said seriously. Xiao Chen smiled, took out a cigarette, and threw one to Ding Li. Well, after buying the equipment, I will draw the drawings for you, and when I find a chance, I will install it. Yes. Hurry up, don't delay too long. I know, I'll do it this afternoon. Xiao Chen nodded and took out a card. There are 100,000 in it, the password is 123123, use it to buy equipment. Ding Li took it. Don't worry, Brother Chen, I will do it. Go. Ding Li held the card and turned away. Xiao Chen looked at Ding Li's back and squinted his eyes. This was what he suddenly thought of last night. The eavesdropping device was discovered, and the other party would definitely notice it. Will they take the next step? Therefore, he wanted to make some preparations in advance, just in case the other party really made any moves, then maybe there would be some gains. In his opinion, if the person who installed the eavesdropping device and the person who sent the threatening letter were not the same person, the former would be more harmful than the latter. In addition to the company, he also planned to make some arrangements at the villa to avoid being exploited again. Pooh. Xiao Chen spit out the toothpick, strolled around the company, returned to the office, and opened the computer game. Time passed by, and just as Xiao Chen was beating the boss crazily, a security guard ran in from outside in a panic. Minister Xiao, it's not good. What are you shouting about, what's wrong with me? Xiao Chen looked up and said unhappily. No, something happened. What happened? Xiao Chen frowned and stood up suddenly. Is the Flying Eagle gang here to retaliate? No. Damn, what's going on? Xiao Chen was angry and almost grabbed the ashtray on the table and smashed it on the head of the person who came. Someone broke in. What? Someone broke in? Xiao Chen didn't ask any more questions when he heard this, and rushed out quickly. Just when he was still far away from the company's door, he heard an angry voice, "Why are you stopping me? If you stop me again, I will be rude." "Stop him, don't let him in, Minister Xiao will be here soon." Another voice sounded. "I want to see your leader. You clearly said you were recruiting people. Now that I'm here, you don't want me? Are you kidding me? Get out of the way. Brothers, stop him." Bang bang bang. Then, a muffled sound was heard, and several security guards flew out of the door and fell heavily to the ground, screaming in pain. "Humph, you guys think you can stop me? If you stop me again, I'll beat you up." A tall and burly young man staggered in from outside, holding a fist as big as a bowl, with a fierce look on his face, yelling at the security guard on the ground. The small black vest was filled with exaggerated muscles, as if it was about to burst at any time, giving people a strong visual impact. Even Xiao Chen's eyes shrank, and then he raised his head. Damn, where did this guy come from? It was a big brown bear that stood up straight. "Stop him, don't let him break in, otherwise we will all be fired." Security guard got up from the ground and shouted with gritted teeth. The other security guards also got up while enduring the pain and blocked the young man's way. "Still blocking me, okay, I'll beat you up." The young man was angry, grabbed a security guard by the collar, and was ready to throw him out again. "Stop." Xiao Chen spoke at the right time, quickened his pace, and came to the door. "Minister Xiao." The security guards were relieved to see Xiao Chen, and all greeted him respectfully. "Yeah." Xiao Chen nodded, looked up at the big guy who was 2 meters tall. "Let him go, tell me if you have anything to say." "Are you their leader?" the young man asked in a muffled voice. "Yes, I am their leader and the head of the security department." The young man looked at Xiao Chen for a while, threw the security guard in his hand to the ground, and nodded. "Okay, then I'll talk to you." "What do you want to talk about?" "I want to be a security guard here." Xiao Chen laughed when he heard this. He came here to be a security guard, and he still broke in? What are you laughing at? Are you making fun of me? "No, what's your name?" Xiao Chen asked with a smile. "My name is Li Hanho, my mother and the people in my village call me Dahan." The young man scratched his head and said. Hearing this name, not only Xiao Chen, but also the other security guards looked strange. Li Hanho? Dahan? This guy really looks a bit stupid. "Dahan, who told you that we are recruiting security guards?" "Dr. Hua told me. She told me to give it a try." Li Hanho grinned. "My mother said that those who call me Dahan are her friends, so I recognize you as my friend." Xiao Chen smiled. "Okay, we are friends. What can you do?" "I can hunt." Xiao Chen was amused. "Dahan, this is a company. We don't need hunters. Pinshu.com https://www.vodtw.la. Then I can guard the door. I will definitely not let anyone break into the company. What if someone wants to break in? Then I'll beat him." Li Hanho raised his fist. "Whoever comes in will be beaten." "Haha, they stopped you just now and didn't let you in, right?" Li Hanho tilted his head, thought about it, and nodded. "Yes, but I want to see the leader. I want to be a security guard here." The security guards, who were originally a little angry, were now at a loss. They shook their heads and realized that this big guy seemed to be stupid and there was no way they could argue with him. "Why do you want to be a security guard?" "Because Dr. Hua said that your salary is high." "Okay." Xiao Chen nodded helplessly. "It's right for us to recruit security guards, but not now, but the day after tomorrow." "Leader, you just said that we are friends, can't you keep me?" Li Hanho was a little anxious. Xiao Chen couldn't help laughing. Who said that this kid was stupid? He just set a trap for himself. "I can keep you, but you broke into the company and beat them up. You have to give an explanation, right?" Li Hanho looked at the security guards and squatted on the ground with his head in his hands. "Then let them beat me up too, as long as they don't hit me in the face, otherwise my mother will be angry again if she sees it." The security guards looked at his actions and all laughed. This guy is really silly and cute. Forget about beating you. If you can beat me, I will let you be a security guard. How about it? Xiao Chen's eyes fell on Li Hanho's calloused fists, and he said with a move in his heart. "Are you serious? You didn't lie to me?" Really, I won't lie to you. Xiao Chen nodded and pointed at the security guards. They can testify. Okay. Li Hanho clenched his fist excitedly, but soon he turned bitter. But what if I hurt you? I don't have money to compensate you. Xiao Chen smiled. Even if I hurt you, you don't have to pay. Well, take my punch. After Li Hanho finished speaking, he roared, his whole body's explosive muscles tensed, and punched Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen looked at the fist that was smashing down, and did not dodge. He also punched out, head-on. Bang. The two fists, one big and one small, collided with each other, making a dull sound. Xiao Chen only felt a pain in his fist, took a step back, and unloaded the strength from the fist. He was surprised in his heart that this guy had such great strength. Li Hanho also took a step back. Excitement flashed across his originally dull and honest face, and he let out a beast-like roar, and then punched out again. This time, Xiao Chen did not confront Li Hanho head-on, but dodged his fist by leaning sideways, and kicked out with his right leg like lightning, aiming at his elbow. Bang! To Xiao Chen's surprise, Li Hanho's reaction was not slow at all. His right fist did not slow down, but his left hand slapped his right foot, and at the same time, he grabbed and buckled his ankle. Episode 29. The Strong Dahan. Get up! Li Hanho grabbed Xiao Chen's ankle and shouted, trying to throw him out with his left hand. Xiao Chen was slightly short, and he exerted force on his left foot, shaking off Li Hanho's left hand. He swung out with his right fist and fought at close range. Li Hanho's left hand felt numb at the base of his palm, but he did not retreat at all. He swung out with both fists, opening and closing them like a violent wild bear. Bang, bang, bang. The fists of both sides were powerful and collided continuously, making dull sounds. The security guards nearby were all stunned. How could this big fool be so powerful? At the same time, they secretly felt lucky that Minister Xiao arrived in time, otherwise they would not be able to escape from this beating today. Destruction. Li Hanho roared, and his huge body suddenly jumped up, clenched his fists, moved like a bow, and sounded like thunder, smashing down from top to bottom towards Xiao Chen. Come on. Xiao Chen shook his shoulders, and the style of his fist suddenly changed, from the previous fierce and violent to implicit and restrained, and his right palm stuck to Li Hanho's fist, using 4 ounces to move 1,000 pounds, using softness to overcome hardness. Tai Shan Cao. Li Hanho passed by, and his shoulder suddenly slammed into Xiao Chen, with great force and heavy power, like a one-man tank, showing a violent aura of crushing all enemies. Xiao Chen raised his eyebrows and retreated violently. Even he was unwilling to confront the Tai Shan Cao of Bajiquan. Especially when facing such a powerful humanoid beast, he would only suffer a loss. However, when he retreated violently, he drew a semicircle with his right leg and kicked at the knee of Li Hanho, who staggered back and almost fell to the ground. It's fun, come again. Li Hanho, who suffered a small loss, not only did not retreat, but was even more eager to fight. During the days he came to Longhai, he had no place to practice boxing, which could be said to be very frustrating. Now, how could he not be excited to meet such an opponent? How could he not fight to his heart's content? Okay, come again. Xiao Chen was also excited to fight, and his whole body was filled with a strong fighting spirit, like a god of war descending to earth. Mountain Cannon. Li Hanho straightened his arms, took a big step and rushed towards Xiao Chen, splitting and hanging. His 2 arms were like steel whips, mixed with fierce wind, and came down with a bang. This seems to be Pai Guaquan? Suddenly, a security guard who had practiced a few moves looked at Li Hanho's movements and couldn't help but screaming. Pai Guaquan? What is Pai Guaquan? The security guard next to him asked curiously. Pai Guaquan is one of the most powerful and toughest styles of boxing in China. Have you ever heard of this saying, Baji Quan plus Pai Gua, even gods and ghosts are afraid? The security guard who spoke before stared at Li Hanho, who was fighting against Xiao Chen. If I'm not mistaken, this guy practices Baji Quan and Pai Gua Quan. I've heard this saying before. I heard that people who practice these 2 types of boxing are very powerful. Damn, this big fool is so powerful? The security guards all took a breath and screamed. Pinshu.com https://www.vodtw.la. Subdue the dragon and subdue the tiger. At this moment, Li Hanho roared again, and the distance between him and Xiao Chen suddenly narrowed. Although his offensive was still fierce, his boxing style had changed. That's right, this is the dragon subduing and tiger subduing in Bajiquan, also known as Mei facing the sky and Liuha Putajan. The security guard's eyelids jumped, and he slowly said, with Taiji in literature, the world is at peace, and with Baji in martial arts, the universe is determined. Minister Xiao, it's going to be dangerous. What? Minister Xiao can't beat this big fool? Don't call you a big fool all the time. If he hears, he can beat you so badly that even your mother won't recognize you. The security guard glanced at his companion and reminded him. The companion opened his mouth to say something, but looking at the fierce Li Hanho, he swallowed his words back. It's better not to talk nonsense, this big fool is too scary. Boom. Xiao Chen took Li Hanho's punch with both palms, and his body retreated several steps in succession. At the same time, his arms were a little numb, which made him secretly groan in his heart. Damn, this stupid boy is too strong. The overlord breaks the reins. Li Hanho's offensive was like a flood, one move after another, plus his huge body, it was particularly impactful when it was performed. Damn, it's not over yet? It's time to end it. Xiao Chen squatted slightly, and his momentum changed again. If he was like a sharp sword out of its sheath before, now he has become a seemingly harmless blunt sword. As the saying goes, a heavy sword has no edge, and great skill is not skillful. Bang bang. The two sides fought again, and just when everyone thought that Xiao Chen was suppressed by Li Hanho and fell into a disadvantage, there was only a light shout, and then a muffled sound came out, and a huge black shadow flew out backwards. Bang. The black shadow hit the ground heavily, rolled a few times, and stopped. The security guards were shocked. Minister Xiao was defeated? They looked intently, and all of them widened their eyes. It was not the relatively thin Minister Xiao who flew out, but Li Hanho who had the physique of a big brown bear. Li Hanho was half lying on the ground, his expression was a little dazed. He didn't seem to expect that he would be knocked out. How could this be possible? You know, when he was hunting at home, he encountered a black bear in the forest, and he just relied on his fists to kill two black bears, one big and one small. In a head-on confrontation, his strength is not inferior to that of the black bear. But now, he was defeated and was directly blown away. In his opinion, this is simply unacceptable. Looking at Xiao Chen again, his face was a little pale, and even a trace of pain flashed across his face. His dantian was stabbed, as if he was stabbed by a steel needle. However, he quickly returned to normal, walked forward slowly, and said with a smile, "Dahan, you lost. How come your strength is greater than mine?" Li Hanho got up from the ground. He was not injured. First, Xiao Chen controlled the strength, and second, he used to practice boxing and hitting trees in the forest all day, so his skin was rough and thick. Haha, what's so strange about this? I lost, I'm leaving. Li Hanho thought of something, a little disappointed, scratched his head, turned around and was about to leave. Wait. What do you want me to do? Li Hanho stopped and turned to look at Xiao Chen. Haha, you're accepted. You'll be the company's security guard in the future. Xiao Chen said with a smile. Li Hanho was stunned for a moment, then overjoyed. Really? Of course it's true. Great, thank you. Li Hanho was very happy as a child, almost jumping up and down. Xiao Chen also smiled, with admiration flashing across his face. Although he had just met him, he liked this big guy a little bit. Dahan, go and apologize to them. You will be colleagues in the future. You must get along with each other in a friendly manner, understand? Xiao Qing glanced at the security guards next to him and said to Li Hanho. Oh. Li Hanho nodded, ran to the front of the security guards, bent down, and smiled honestly. I was wrong just now, I shouldn't hit anyone. Otherwise, you can beat me up too, I won't fight back. The security guards looked at Li Hanho and all laughed. Who could argue with him? Okay, since everyone has forgiven you, forget it. Come on, come with me to the office, we'll talk again. Xiao Chen said with a smile. Oh. Li Hanho nodded. Xiao Chen took out a cigarette and threw it to the security guards. Everyone is on duty, I'll take Dahan in. Yes. Let's go. Xiao Chen had just taken a few steps when he suddenly heard a gurgling sound, very loud, just like thunder in the distance. What's that sound? Xiao Chen stopped and asked in confusion. Leader, it's my stomach that's growling. Li Hanho said somewhat embarrassedly. Xiao Chen was speechless, looking at Li Hanho's stomach. Are you hungry? I haven't eaten for 2 days, don't worry about it, it won't growl in a while. Li Hanho shook his head and said. Xiao Chen was dazed. Why don't you eat? I have no money. Li Hanho scratched his head, opened his mouth, and still didn't continue. Xiao Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. No money to eat? Well, let's not go to the office first, let's go to the cafeteria first. Pinsu.com https://www.vodtw.la. Let's go, I'll take you to the cafeteria for dinner. Eat? Li Hanho's eyes lit up and swallowed his saliva. Yes. Xiao Chen shook his head helplessly. This guy was so powerful after being hungry for 2 days. If he was full, how strong would he be? Xiao Chen took Li Hanho to the cafeteria and asked the chef to serve him a few dishes. Dahan, eat. Okay. Li Hanho picked up the chopsticks, picked up a lion's head, and just about to put it in his mouth, he put it down again after thinking of something. Dahan, what's wrong? Don't you like it? Xiao Chen was a little surprised. This big meatball is delicious. He ate 2 at noon. No, leader, can I save these meatballs and take them back to my mother? Li Hanho looked at the meatballs on the plate, swallowed his saliva, and asked. Xiao Chen was shocked. For your mother? Well, my mother is sick and hasn't eaten meat for several days. I want to save some for her to eat and replenish her body. Li Hanho nodded and asked expectantly, Leader, is it okay? Xiao Chen looked at Li Hanho's somewhat honest face and suddenly felt a little warm and moved. He forced a smile and said, Dahan, just eat these. After you finish eating, I will accompany you to see your mother and bring her something more delicious. Really? Really, eat it. Oh. Li Hanho nodded, picked up the lion's head, and swallowed it in one gulp. It's delicious. Haha, eat slowly, there are still a lot. Yeah. Li Hanho didn't care about talking anymore, nodded vaguely, and picked up the rice. Although Xiao Chen was well prepared, he was still shocked by Li Hanho's appetite. Not to mention how many dishes he ate 7 bowls of rice alone. You know, he usually eats 2 bowls of rice at most. Dahan, are you full? If not, there's more inside. Xiao Chen asked with a smile when he saw that the rice in the bowl was empty. I'm half full, can I still eat more? Li Hanho took a few more mouthfuls of rice. Wait, I'll get you some rice. Xiao Chen was convinced. 7 bowls of rice, half full? Damn, this guy and this strength are really not given for nothing. It wasn't until he ate the 11th bowl that Li Hanho put down his bowl and chopsticks and patted his belly. I'm so full. I haven't eaten such a full meal for more than a month. Xiao Chen looked at Li Hanho's actions and wanted to laugh, but couldn't. Dahan, tell me about your business. Where is your mother now? Episode 30. I like this woman. Li Hanho's story is actually very simple. His ancestral home is in eastern Shandong. His grandfather went to the 3 northeastern provinces and settled there until now. He was born in a remote mountain village. When he was a teenager, his grandfather and father died one after another, and he has been dependent on his mother ever since. This time, his mother was seriously ill. He heard from the villagers that the medical technology in Longhai City was better, so he brought his mother to Longhai for treatment. But this young man who had never left the mountains could not adapt and survive after coming to the prosperous city. He found 2 jobs in Longhai, but neither of them lasted long. He also spent all their savings on his mother's treatment, and now they still owe money to the hospital. If the hospital hadn't been afraid that it couldn't find anyone to pay back the money, it would have kicked them out long ago. He now only has more than 200 yuan left on him. In order to save money to buy food for his mother, he hasn't eaten for 2 days. Dahan, if you don't eat, you will starve to death. What about your mother? After hearing what Li Hanho said, Xiao Chen was moved and a little sour. Hey, I'm strong, it's no problem for me to starve for 10 days or 8 days. Li Hanho smiled naively, scratching his head, not seeming to worry about himself. Xiao Chen couldn't help shaking his head, starving for 10 days or 8 days. This kid can think of it. Dahan, how did you know that the company is recruiting security guards? It was Dr. Hua who told me. She told me the salary is quite high, so she let me give it a try. Who is Dr. Hua? Xiao Chen asked curiously, the doctor who treated your mother? Well, she's very beautiful and kind-hearted. If it weren't for her, the hospital might have kicked us out long ago. When Li Hanho mentioned Dr. Hua, gratitude was written on his face. Xiao Chen nodded and felt better. In this cold city made of reinforced concrete, there is still occasional warmth. Dahan, just follow me here. Yes, leader, as long as it's not illegal, I'll do whatever you tell me to do. Li Hanho nodded vigorously. Xiao Chen was a little surprised to hear him say that. Illegal things? Yes, my mother said that illegal things can't be done. Then she didn't say, why can't illegal things be done? This, she didn't say, she said it can't be done, then it can't be done. Li Hanho scratched his head and then said seriously. In his eyes, his mother's words are more effective than the imperial edicts of ancient emperors. If his mother said it, he wouldn't ask why. Haha, your mother is right, illegal things can't be done. Society is already so chaotic, you are so powerful, don't make it more chaotic. Xiao Chen laughed. He said this by no means an exaggeration, although the two didn't fight to the death, but from the previous contest he could see that Li Hanho's fighting power was definitely above the first class, even the peak of the first class, belonging to that kind of rare master. If such masters want to harm society, the impact will be absolutely terrifying, and their lethality is really too great. There are already many examples of this, such as the classic First Blood. Although the protagonist is forced, it can be seen from the side that how lethal these masters are. Once they go crazy, no one, no law, and no weapons can stop them. For example, in reality, many retired Special Forces soldiers have gone astray because they cannot integrate into society. How many major cases have they done that shocked the whole country? In Xiao Chen's opinion, Li Hanho is much more terrifying than those retired Special Forces soldiers. Baji plus Paigua, gods and ghosts are afraid of it. This is not just talk. This is a humanoid warrior, a killing weapon. Leader. Don't call me leader, call me Brother Chen. Oh, Brother Chen, I want. Li Hanho opened his mouth, but the words came to his lips, but he felt that he couldn't say it. What do you want to do? Damn, just say what you want to say, are you a man? I want to collect 1 month's salary first, is that okay? Li Hanho said a little nervously. Xiao Chen patted his forehead when he heard this, wondering why he had forgotten this. Collect. Brother Chen, I have more than 200 yuan now. Don't worry, I will. Okay, stop talking. Xiao Chen stood up and patted Li Hanho's shoulder, come with me. Brother Chen, where are you going? Go to the hospital to see your mother, let's go. Oh. Li Hanho stood up quickly, glanced at the empty plate on the table, and hesitated. Brother Chen, don't forget to bring meatballs. Xiao Chen couldn't help laughing. What meatballs? Your mother is sick and can't eat too greasy food. Let's go out to buy some tonics first, and then stew some medicinal food or something. Oh. Xiao Chen took Li Hanho out of the cafeteria and went downstairs, but then he found a problem and had a headache again. Li Hanho, this big guy, couldn't sit in the Maserati President at all. How did you get here? Xiao Chen asked, leaning weakly against the car. I ran here. Li Hanho was a little embarrassed, as he almost got stuck in the car just now. Not far? Not bad. What hospital? Li Hanho said a name, and Xiao Chen rolled his eyes immediately. Damn, he knew this hospital, it was more than 30 miles away. There was no other way, Xiao Chen could only ask for help. He thought about it and called Qinlan. Hey, Xiao Chen, why did you think of calling me? I thought you would ignore me now that you are an official. Qinlan's voice sounded a little reproachful. Sister Lan, how could I ignore you? I'm just busy. Busy playing games in the office? Xiao Chen was dumbfounded. Damn, how did this woman know? Why, you have nothing to say? You tricked me into a kiss, and said you would come to help me often, but you never came. Okay, Sister Lan, I was wrong. Starting tomorrow, I promise to report to you and do whatever you ask me to do. Xiao Chen emphasized the word do a little more. You want to take advantage of me all the time. Humph, you just talk. You have the desire but not the courage. Xiao Chen got angry when he heard this. What? He has the desire but not the courage? Fuck, he is obviously the most courageous, okay? Sister Lon, don't provoke me. Be careful or I'll go to your office right now and show you how bold I am. Haha, then come on, I really want to see how bold you are. Brother Chen, when are we leaving? Li Hanho, who was standing next to him, saw Xiao Chen's face full of excitement and couldn't help asking. Oh. Right now, I'm borrowing a car. Xiao Chen was embarrassed and forgot that there was such a guy next to him. Is there someone next to you? Yeah, Sister Lon, I won't talk nonsense with you. I'm going out for a while. Does our company have an off-road vehicle? Isn't Mr. Su's president at your place? This car is a bit small. Small? What are you going to do? Are you going to put a pig in it? Qianlong asked in confusion. Ahem. Xiao Qing glanced at Li Hanho. I'm not pretending to be a pig, I'm pretending to be a bear. Bear? What are you doing? Okay, Sister Lon, stop asking. Does our company have an off-road vehicle with a larger space? You want a larger space? Then come to my office. Oh. Why go to your office? Sister Lon, I just want to use the company's car. I don't have to sacrifice myself, right? Qianlong didn't know whether to laugh or cry. What was this guy thinking? If you want to use the car, come to my office. Qianlong said and hung up the phone. Xiao Chen held the phone and hesitated for a moment. Should I go? What did Qianlong ask him to do? He couldn't be so hungry, right? Was he really going to sacrifice himself for a car? However, thinking of Qianlong's right body, he felt a little hot again. Brother Chen, what's wrong with you? Do you have a stomachache? Li Hanho looked at Xiao Chen's changing expression, as if he was constipated, and couldn't help asking. Oh. Nothing, wait for me here, I'll go get the car keys. Oh, then when will you be back? Well, maybe a few minutes, maybe an hour or two. I'll do it as soon as possible. Xiao Chen said, and walked towards the office building. https://www.vot.la. Li Hanho looked at Xiao Chen's back and scratched his head. A few minutes? An hour or two? What does that mean? Arriving at the assistant's office, Xiao Chen knocked on the door, and Qianlong's charming voice came from inside. Come in. Sister Lon, I'm here. Xiao Chen had a smirk on his face, looking at Qianlong's chest lustfully. Well, here, this is my car key, take it and use it. Before Xiao Chen sat down, Qianlong pointed to the key on the table and said. Ah. Xiao Chen was stunned. Where was the content that was not suitable for children? He even prepared to take off his pants, but he really came up to get a car key? What? Don't you need the car? Qianlong looked at Xiao Chen with a strange expression and laughed in her heart. Boy, you are still a little naive to play with me. Yes. Well, Sister Lon, you asked me to come up to get the car keys? Yes, do you think I should give them to you? Ahem, no, thank you Sister Lon, I'll leave first. Xiao Chen was helpless. He finally realized that this girl was not easy to mess with. She was a rose with thorns. Well, go ahead. Xiao Chen nodded dejectedly, took the key and turned around. As soon as he went out, he heard a proud giggle from behind him, which made him grit his teeth secretly. This girl must have done it on purpose. Damn it, you don't have to be proud now, I will sleep with you sooner or later. Brother Chen, you are back so soon? Li Hanho was squatting on the ground, drawing circles out of boredom. Seeing Xiao Chen coming back, he shouted with some surprise. Well, let's go. Xiao Chen nodded weakly, came to the parking lot, and pressed the key in his hand. Dee. A sound of unlocking was heard. Xiao Chen looked in the direction of the sound and was stunned. Damn, this woman's taste is really different. She likes big guys. Li Hanho's eyes widened, showing some love. Brother Chen, what kind of car is this? It's so big. Hummer. Is this the Hummer? Well, get in the car. Xiao Chen nodded, opened the door and got in. A fragrance similar to Qianlong's came to his nose. Although it was not elegant, it was not very strong. It smelled good. Li Hanho sat in the co-pilot and sniffed. Brother Chen, why does this car smell like a woman? This car is borrowed from a woman. Ah. Li Hanho opened his mouth for a long time and squeezed out a few words. I like this woman.